Okay. Yeah, in the interest of time, I'll be brief. Today marks 88 days for me. And yeah, so in a nutshell, minus 15 pounds, body water up 2.6, skeletal muscle, 10-inch shape shift. I'll skip through all that because the more important part of this, or at least what I want to ask in the brief amount of time, is um, everything feels fine. But every time I take my blood pressure, every time I put that cuff on, my blood pressure is still through the roof. I'm starting to wonder if I'm freaking this machine out because no matter which machine I do, it still gives me these crazy, this super high results. So I don't know if it's I, all I do is I think back of every single time some nurses put a blood pressure cuff on me, and every single time they give me that look, they give you that side eye look like, oh, like you did something wrong. And fundamentally, I just get nervous every time I put the thing on there. So I don't know if I'm screwing it up or what's happening, but everything else feels fine. I mean, even despite having been through this hurricane that came through here in Western North Carolina, I've been drinking the water as I'm supposed to, taking in the salt as I'm supposed to. I'm not eating anywhere near as much as I should be because well, going at 100 miles an hour, still trying to deal with all this sort of thing. But I don't know if I'm freaking out this machine or what.
Yeah, well, interestingly, William, that's a very common thing, by the way, is 99% of doctors never trust their own blood pressure readings because it's natural for people, uh, for people to have anxiety, and it could spike your blood pressure 50 points, just a moment of nervousness or anxiety, or the psychological term, right, is a conditional response. So when you have a conditional response to every time this happens to me, my blood pressure goes up, it's very normal to have a reaction like that. So what I would recommend is I wouldn't even think about taking your blood pressure. Just sometime when you first wake up in the morning, while you're still laying in bed, just take your own pulse. Just take two fingers and stick it on your neck. And if it's beating like 1001, 1002, 1001, 1002, that's your blood pressure right there. You're taking your pulse. It's like, okay, well, that's how it's pulsating, through my body. So do it when you're relaxed, before you ever get out of bed. Now, if you think you could actually just psychologically relax while you're laying there, and if your wife could take your blood pressure, while you're laying in bed, that would be, or if you could do it yourself while you're laying in bed, that's actually our real blood pressure, by the way. It's first thing in the morning before our feet ever touch the ground. That's our real, that's our resting heart rate. That's our real blood pressure. Once we get up and moving, we could get one phone call that could raise our blood pressure for a minute, 50 points. It could just go up because now we got a phone call. We're in action. We're in active mode. But it doesn't mean we're unhealthy just because it spikes, up and down throughout the day when we're doing different things. Just give you an interesting word picture. Uh, when a racehorse is racing, its heart gets four times, quadruple its normal size, quadruple, but it doesn't have a heart attack, but it's racing. But if it's out in the field, its heart is this big, but if it's racing, its heart is this big. But it's natural. It's like how God made it. And the same way in humans, when we're active throughout our day, our blood pressure is going up and down all day, depending on what we're doing, what we're dealing with, what's going on. But our body's designed to ebb and flow, with those everyday life. So what I would say is just try to prepare yourself a night before. I'm just going to be rested. I'm going to be relaxed. I'm going to lay in this bed in the morning. I'm going to take my blood pressure and see what it is. Now, here's a good thing. Even if your blood pressure is a little bit high, just keep doing what you're doing because it's impossible, William, for it to stay high. It's impossible because you're opening up your arteries, you're increasing the viscosity of your blood. Like nobody can do what you're doing on Energize Health and keep high blood pressure. It's impossible to do.